This is for entertainment purposes only, family. I've been looking into and researching and meditating and praying on these quiet bodies and just everything that's going on from since we started the Reject Finance Bill. And what I'm seeing is that we opened Pandora's box. Something way deeper was going on in Kenya, right under our noses. And for one reason or another, we had been hypnotized. Because you see, when Elizabeth came to Kenya and when they colonized Kenya, as I've said before, they were not looking for wildlife and this and that. They were looking for treasures and stones, but they were looking for powers, because this world is run by magic and by powers, by wizards and by warlocks, and by the Brotherhood and by the church. Kenya has somehow played a role in this whole thing. Because I'm told when Lizzie went up that tree, which was a mugumo tree, and she was on her. She went up a princess and she came down a queen. And her whole altar was from here. This is where she gained her power. And something happened in Kenya just before she fell. And it was like we were liberated. The reason I'm even talking about this is because Kenya has been used as the altar of the people who run the world. And what I'm thinking happened is that there's been now a clash of altars. Because the Brotherhood came here a long time ago. There's so much I've talked about this family. And that's why the Mzungus never planned to leave. But their altar is here. And Britain is the divided states, who are the rulers of the world of this age. And as I told you, they had always planned to come back and make Kenya their own. They never ever meant to leave this nation. So now, in 2018 or something like that, there was an article that appeared in the local papers that talked about how Kenya had surpassed West Africa, namely Nigeria, as the witchcraft capital of the world. And we saw a lot of wizardry has been brought here. A lot of wizardry and witchcraft is used in every election, family. We all know this. There was another article that talked about how many mchawis cross over from Tanzania and Southern Africa, and guys bring in sangomas and all these fetish priests from West Africa. This has been going on. And then now with the whole wash thing. So what I see spiritually is that there's been a clash of altars. And somehow bringing in all these African altars to this nation, while there's other altars, it's like desecrated this nation, family. So much has been going on that we have no idea about. But somehow, some way, we have removed the foreign altar spiritually. And they are scrambling to try and get it back. No one saw it coming. I feel at the beginning of the beginning of these protests that have now become a movement may have been planned, because we see that, the IMFs of this world knew that such a thing would be triggered. But maybe they were doing it in order to have like some kind of blood sacrifice, because it is election season, not only in the divided kingdom, but the divided states. Didn't Rishi just lose something? So what if they rely on feeding this altar? And the strange thing is, I met a man once who told me that Kenya had 4 principalities. And if anyone ever wanted to ascend to power, they would have to gain like the approval of these four principalities. One of those principalities would blah, blah, blah. Hey, I don't, okay, I'm not going to say who the principalities are. Let me leave that up for now. But somehow, family, it's like the ancestors awakened us, the Most High awakened us, and we shook the main altar off. And they have tried to reestablish it, and they can't. They have tried to control it, and I've told you from the beginning, you cannot control energy. This is a spiritual thing. And we are now entering a reformation. A revival is not enough, and they've prophesied about revival coming to Kenya for a very long time. In fact, there's Levites or high priests from Zimbabwe, from Southern Africa, from Western Africa, who came here many years ago, waiting for the so-called return of the Messiah and waiting for the revival that would start in Kenya and spread across the world. So what is it about Kenya? Are we really the center of the world? Is Mount Kenya Mount Zion? The doorway to the Shambhala. All I know is that we do not wage war against flesh and blood, but against spiritual principalities, spiritual wickedness in high places. And all I know is that we are not fighting alone, for there are hidden nations here. And maybe we were getting too contaminated. But reformation means, it's not like revival where you awaken to, the truths. Reformation means you pull everything from the root and you start again. I've seen people who don't seem to have the stamina. They think, oh, look, okay, let's be done. Let's just go back. Okay, Ruta has done this. Let's wait till 27. It's not about that. This dispensation is over. This system is done. We are entering a new dispensation and a new spiritual rulership in this nation. And that's what has shaken not just Kenya, but the world. And is impacting things everywhere. All eyes on us. Kenya was the most searched word in the world this week. You think that's a coincidence? And I'm not saying this for us to feel like, ooh, but for us to realize, this thing is way deeper. And I think a lot of different underworld priesthoods had established altars in Kenya, and it just reached a boiling point. And now all of that is like we've opened a Pandora's box. But family, please know that this thing is already done. If you feel any negative thing or any fear, it's for you to alchemize and release and cancel for all of us.